dropping off and sweeping with their defenders.
Absolutely, they've got some great players. Now, speaking of great players, just recently I went out to Bodyology to have a look at how elite AFL players are prepared in pre-season, and they started with testing my metabolism, which is not real good.
Alright, now basically all I need you to do, Lynchy, is sit still, breathe normally, try to relax as much as you can. The test is going to go for around about 10 minutes. Just need you to keep a nice tight seal on the mouthpiece and try to relax as much as you can because we're trying to get your resting metabolism levels here. Everything's working really well with your metabolism. So what we actually measured was your resting metabolic rate. So that's just the amount of energy that your body burns without doing any activity. And we found with you that your resting metabolic rate came in around about just under 3,000 calories per day. Now, that's running about 20% above what we would call normal for someone your size. When we add in the activity, and if you're doing some level of training most days, I could quite easily find a level for you if you were trying to bulk up or you're trying to lean down in terms of calories per day, and it just pinpoints the individuality of your nutrition requirements.
Andy, what's next, mate?
All right, Lynchy, we've got the bod pod test now to check out your lean muscle levels and your body fat levels, mate.
Dust the hat.
Dust the hat.
Good look, this one.
All right, get you to jump up on the scale there and just stand still for me. Jump on in the bod pod. Just need you to sit still. Check your hands on your lap for me. Breathe normally. We'll see you in about 45 seconds, and all you're going to feel is a slight pressure increase while you're in there. So sit back and relax, and we'll see you soon.
All right.
All right, Lynchy, all done, mate. Jump on out. You've been bod podded. You're coming in at 105 kilograms at the moment, so that means you've got 16.7 kilograms of fat on your frame, and you've actually got about 88.5 worth of lean muscle. So most of the players that we see now, the clubs want them under about 13.5%. What we do when we're watching how a player develops is make sure that they're holding onto their lean muscle, that they're growing, and if they are getting heavier, that it's the good stuff and not the bad stuff.
So what we're going to do today is basically a movement screening analysis. So the idea behind this is we're trying to get a snapshot of you as an athlete. All right, so what areas do we need to work on? What are your potential flaws? What do we need to start addressing when we start programming for you in the future? So it's very individual. So we can't just give one program to every single athlete because there's a lot of individual variation between everyone in there. And what we're going to look for here is just to see the height of the knee relative to the hips. Move your hip in through this way. Right, and then come back out the other way. Does that feel tight?
No, your hair bitten through the groin or the hip.
Nothing through there? All good through there?
Yep, that's quite good actually.
All right. Well, it's probably your best one today there. We've done well on the test. So this is just the hip impingement test, so we're just rolling it around. Make sure it's not catching on anything. Nothing through there, feels alright.
It's just
tight.
Better on the other side.
Really important to be strong through there when you've got accelerations, decelerations, jumping, kicking. That's an area we need to be really strong in. So most guys in the AFL should be able to get 35 of these pretty comfortably. Good. All right, now we're going to change sides. Do the same thing again from the other side. 5. Good. Go again. Ideally, we should have your glutes switching on first before your hamstrings. 9. Good. 15 seconds from now with your eyes open. So he's nice and controlled and well balanced there. Not getting a lot of movement, which is good.
Which would be typical for all AFL footballers. They wouldn't struggle with this, would they?
No, I would hope not. Close your eyes in 3, 2, 1. Close your eyes from now.
That used to be in the late 70s.
Yep, so your heel's still staying down. You get a high degree of variability between players with this. As long as you're sort of above 12 centimetres, I think, on both sides, you're going reasonably well. Normally I like guys to get around 35, so you'd hope most guys within the AFL should be able to get 35.
So I'd have a bit of work to do if I was making a comeback.
Yeah, we've got a little bit of work to do. So we're looking at his hips here, see if they're staying nice and square. All right, we're also looking at how his knee's tracking relative to his foot.
I don't think I was any good at this when I was fit. So,
hopefully by getting these things right first, we're adding on years and allowing them ability to improve their performance as they go through.
We're at 3,000 metres. What are we going to do here?
Yep, so first up we usually do what's called an altitude tolerance test. So it sets the scene as to how you respond to high altitude air. Everybody responds very differently. The pulse oximeter is just going to give us a look at what your oxygen saturation is, so the percentage of oxygen bound to blood. Here right now you're just walking away, so doing it pretty easy, and your sats have come down to about 88%. So the benefit of the altitude we can see straight away is that we can get a physiological stress put on your body without having to smash you really hard. So for the older players, for the blokes coming off the back of an injury, it's a really great practical tool for getting some work in without slowing down the recovery.
Running 10 k's an hour probably feels I'm running a bit harder, but I'm not really. So I'm getting the benefit without the stress through the legs. I'm getting the aerobic benefit by the altitude. So although I'm stuffed, I'm actually not really feeling the pain in the legs yet.
The results are pretty clear to us that you're actually a fantastic candidate for high altitude training. The benefits are that your oxygen levels went down pretty easily, which means that you don't have to do a whole lot of work to get all those benefits from being in an environment like this. So
you're saying I could be a very high fit guy?
Yeah, definitely, mate. I'll give you credit.
Could be. Could be. Well, that's it. We're about done at Bodyology. That's a bit of a snapshot. We've done the metabolism, the bod pod to check how fat I am. We've done a bit of a physical screening to see how everything is tight and how functional my body is. And now we're at a crack in the altitude training room. That's a snapshot of what all elite sportsmen around the world are doing once they go into an elite program. Yeah, obviously you saw I wasn't in real good nick, but...
Not in real good nick.
I was blowing.
Mate, you look like you could play tomorrow.
Not a chance. That core stability stuff, which we didn't really focus on too much in the 90s, certainly dropped away for me, and no, I'm a bit of a mess. But it was interesting out there when the philosophical change from when we started, where you front up first day at pre-season training, they bash you to see how fast you can run, how much you can lift, whereas now they test and see what you're capable of doing and then train you for your deficiencies before you have a crack.
It's a very clear reason that they sent you out there and not me, Lynchy. Now, what I want to know is, have you got any tips about metabolism? How do we get it to eat away? I need something to start eating away here, mate.
No, I think you'd be right. Actually, out there, they can really teach you what you need as far as a diet to help speed up your metabolism. So that's where nutritionists, dietitians, tailoring diets for individual guys. So the ones that are a bit lighter, ones a bit heavier.
Some sort of small meals, maybe the odd walk every now and then, Chase, the odd jog.
Do you reckon
Just 3 meals a day instead of 6?
Everyone has 6, doesn't it? Once he took his shirt off, did he take a breath at any stage?
Not for 2 minutes, I must say.
What about the campaign to do the show in Speedos and singlets? I think it's not going to get through, mate. Enough's enough.
Good stuff, mate. Well, it is very scientific, the testing, and we're going to get scientific next on Insider.